Hello. So today I got you guys 5 comp to help you guys climb through the ladder. Reason why I chose these 5 comp is because these are the comps that I have uploaded on YouTube, and you guys can use those video as reference, and I will be linking them in the description below. So the first comp, starting off, we have Irelia Innovator Carry. The reason why we go 5 Innovator instead of 4 Striker is because this requires you to have an Innovator start early game. So an innovative start would be Ezreal, Twitch, Echo, Zillion, Camille. And the reason why this start is so strong is because you have infinite synergies and the comp is really cheap, so you can power level and push your mid game to win streak. And these items are also really easy to get because BF Sword, you just start BF Sword, and the cloak is basically uncontested. Glove, no one really wants. And yeah, you shouldn't have problem getting Auralia best in slot. But you really need the BF sword though, mainly the BF sword. And going to mid game, late game, you just want to find anything that will help your synergy bar, right? But you also want to end up with 3 Socialite because I cannot stress this enough. 3 Socialite, Irelia with BT is not enough healing. She needs healing because the moment she ults, she will heal to full with enough healing. So think of BT as like a tank item, right? You don't want Irelia to not be able to heal to full because then she wouldn't be able to solo carry, basically. So without BT, the only item that can probably replace BT is, let's say, Giant Slayer late game, because there's a lot of beefy front line. You want her to kill the front line as fast as possible so you can get reset onto the back line. But yeah, uh, those 3 should be her best in slot, and yeah, that's pretty much for the first comp. You also want Frozen Heart and Echo most of the time because Echo slowing DPS in the backline is super important. Alright. The reason why you built Shojin Marlow and Seraphine just to help heal up Irelia and apply healing debuff to the enemy team. But yeah, this is pretty much the basic for the first comp. Alright, on to the second comp. So this is a different version of Irelia. And this happens when you don't have an innovator start. So for innovator start to work, you have to hit the innovator. You're not gonna play a bunch of level 1 innovator, right? And this uses the bruiser comps. So early game you're gonna be running Sejuani, Rek'Sai, Gnar, etc. Just a bruiser, you know? The item holder should be like Wamba Striker. Gnar, for example, it's a really good holder. And late game, going into late game, right? You still want to stack Irelia, and you still want to run 2 to 3 Socialite. So instead of Jace, I would be running 3 Socialite before Jace, right? So I would be running Senna instead of Jace. Let me find Senna real quick. Here. So even though this comp looks very simple, it is basically a standard Irelia comp, right? You just want to stack to buy a bunch of forecasts that have insane synergy and stack Irelia. It's same as Innovator, except um it's a flex comp. Basically, you don't even need to carry Irelia, right? You can be running Jason said and just play Silver Jace. But yeah, this is just a different version. It's a flex style way to play Irelia. And I'm pretty sure this can flex into 6 striker very easily too. And yeah, that's the strongest part about it. It's a flex comp. You can also stack any champs in this comp. You can stack Seraphine, Silver, Vi, Rek'Sai, even Gnar. You can even, it's so flexible. But yeah, this is more of like the advanced Irelia. I wouldn't recommend it if you're new to the game. But there's the base of like a really flexible Irelia pivot. It depends on your augment though. But same as last one, you still want to start BF Surge for this comp. And the next comp I have, you guys should be very familiar with this. I'm pretty sure I play this a lot, and I'm pretty sure the streamers you guys watch also play this a lot. There's the Warwick Reroll game. Warwick Reroll comp, I mean. And yeah, the best in slot for Warwick has changed since set 6. So in set 6, you actually want Shift on Warwick, right? But now we want Guinsoo because Guinsoo works really well with Warwick since he can stack them really fast. And Titans give Warwick really good base stats like armor, MR, AD, EP. And It's really good. It's super value on Warwick. And QSS, of course, because if Warwick gets CC, he's basically a dead unit. And as a secondary carry, you want to run Quinn with Shojin and Deadcap, or Draven with like a lot of 80 items. And basically, you don't have to have Tahm Kench, right? This can be a Rek'Sai or anything, but Tahm Kench is just super late game. So super late game, you want Tahm Kench next to Warwick, and basically you want him to eat the front line so Warwick can get to the back line faster and reset faster. But this is a pretty simple comp. You basically roll at level 6 for 2 costs. The other comp, you basically just play tempo, but this one you want to stay at level 6 and roll until you hit Warwick 3. And let's say you have more than 6 quins, you will still stay at level 6 to roll for the quin 3. But if you have less than 6 quin, like 4 for example, like significantly less, right? You would go level 7, and then you basically try to play tempo. And as long as you hit more quins, you can stay level 7 roll for quin. But if you don't hit more quins, this is a part where I see a lot of players make mistake. You want to give up on a quin. She is not worth it. You can just stack like a Draven instead, and then deadcap the Vi or something, and then put in a quin to it, or deadcap Tahm Kench even. But yeah, this is a pretty simple comp. You hit Warwick 3, you hit Quinn 3, boom, you top 4, then you win the game. It's pretty simple. But yeah, this is one of the comp I feel like you guys can spam and get infinite elo. Would highly recommend because the difficulty of this comp is very low. It's set like 1 bar. Next comp I have for you guys. We all know this comp very well. The moment you see a blue buff Gunblade and Malzahar, you already know it's Synaptic Web Mutant. It's the one with mana reduction, right? You don't play this comp ever unless you hit Synaptic Web, because the mana mutant guarantees you a win streak early game, into mid game, into late game. But mainly you want to focus on getting blue buff and Gunblade first, because these are the core item for this comp. Malzahar basically get infinite cast, and so does Kha'Zix. So for frontline, so after you get blue buff and Gunblade, you want to start stacking frontline, because if your frontline dies, there's no way you're getting your damage through, because Malzahar is very squishy. And these items on Kha'Zix is not very important. It is super late game. Let's say you're at Carousel at stage 5, stage 6, and you don't have any item that is really good for your Cho'Gath or your Malzahar. You just grab a Kha'Zix item and he can be your secondary carry. The reason why we play Silco instead of like Silco and R instead of like 4 Bruiser is because Silco will make your Cho'Gath frontline even tankier. So the reason why people don't play Silco with Cho'Gath, because they think Silco killed Cho'Gath, a very tanky unit, right? But Cho'Gath initially will take a lot of damage because he's just solo frontline. There's a lot of Giant Slayer in this meta. So you want Silco to make your Cho'Gath bigger, tankier. And then that buff lasts for 8 seconds. But Cho'Gath will die before that. So Silco is not technically killing your Cho'Gath, he's keeping him alive. And reason why we play Ari is because it's a nice orc. It can use the Silco buff, Hex buff also. And if you have a Mutant Spat, it's really good. I would recommend Ari over Malzahar if you have a Mutant Spat. This unit is so broken. And then you can run 7 Mutant instead of Silco. But yeah. This is pretty simple. Don't play this comp unless it's manually reduced Mutant, because you will not have a fun time if it's not. Alright. On to the next comp. This is the basic Twitch reroll with Innovator. We are very, very familiar with this. This is in every single game from set 6 to 6.5. It is the most resident sleeper comp. You've seen me play this, you've seen other streamers play this, you've seen Soju play this. You've seen this comp everywhere, especially in tournament setup. It was so popular. The reason why it's so popular in tournament setup is because it's guarantee you a very high placement as long as you hit the Twitch tree early. It only spikes when you hit Twitch tree, and these are the best in slot. Do not make any other item unless you have to, because this guarantee maximum damage output. There's not a higher DPS build than this. And for this, you want to start basically glove, bow, BF, whichever you feel like. If you're feeling like playing Reroll, you would start Bow, because this flex into Twitch and Warwick. And these tank items are very important the moment you hit close to your best slot. Let's say you have Last Sphere and you have a Bow. Instead of going for the Hurricane, you would go for let's say a tank item, because Hurricane require Cloak, and that is very, very easy to get. You can get that whenever you want. So when you want to prioritize tank item, like let's say you already have a Chain Vest, instead of making that Hurricane, you would rather make a Gargoyle. That's one thing I see people making mistakes. I see them having a Twitch tree, but no frontline. So the moment the frontline die, the enemy backline just retargets the Twitch, and that's not very good. And of course, the Frozen Heart Echo, the classic. Guaranteed DPS decrease for the enemy team. And basically, this come early game, you don't run Jason Seraphine, you are level 6. You mainly roll level 5, but you spike really hard at level 6. And that's because that's when you hit your clockwork, because Zillion doesn't get in before level 6. It's Twitch, Echo, Warwick, Singe, and Camille. If you get 3 Chemtech, 3 Innovator, and 2 Challenger, and 2 Assassin. But yeah, so before Jace, you can basically play Ezreal if you want. But Jace is really strong, so I would not recommend playing 1 extra strap over the Jace. And yeah, this is pretty much the comp. You mainly want to position your your front line in the back like this, because you want to pull them so Twitch can get really nice space in the back, and then really nice angle for the backline carry. But yeah, this is the 5th and final comp. So you can basically see a trend, right? You want innovators, and you want Chemtech mainly. This is the outlier for whenever there's Synaptic Web, but I don't think I'd say a starting item for this, but you mainly want to start Tier for Malzahar, because Tier can make a lot of good items. Not only blue buff, it can also make, let's say, a Frozen Heart for Kha'Zix. It can also make Redemption for Cho'Gath. And blue buff is the biggest spike in this mutant variant, of course. And extra tier can also be chalices. It's not that bad. And yeah, tier or rod would go into this comp. EF Sword would go into Twitch, go into Aurelia's, and Bow would go into Warwick and Twitch. So yeah, good luck on the climb, and I'll see you guys next time for a new video.